The larger sensor size in this drone allows for higher image quality and also better low light performance, which comes in handy for twilight drone shoots, which is something that comes about for real estate work. Also, recently there was the Mavic 3 Pro release, which is above this model, but the extra features that it has over this model I don't think is worth the extra money for real estate work. There's also the Mavic 3 Cine, which is way overkill. At the time of the release of this video, the Mavic 3 Classic base model was priced at $15.99, but I would highly recommend getting it with the DJI RC remote controller with the built-in screen, which is a couple $100 more at $17.49. That couple $100 extra bucks for that remote controller is so worth it in my opinion. Not having to attach your phone to the remote every time you use it as you would with the standard remote. It's such a hassle, and the remote with the built-in screen is such a joy to use. It's so worth it in my opinion. I would also highly recommend getting a few extra batteries as well. If you're on a budget or just starting out or don't anticipate doing a lot of drone shoots, then the drone I'm going to recommend to you is the DJI Mini 3 Pro. It has excellent image quality for such a compact drone, and for its price point, it's pretty impressive. Of course, the sensor size is smaller, and also you don't have the ability to change apertures. This isn't such a big deal for stills, but it is a bigger deal for video because ideally you would like to keep your shutter speed somewhere close to the 180-degree rule, which states that you want your shutter speed to be roughly double what your video frame rate is that you're shooting in. So for instance, if you're shooting in 30 frames per second, you would ideally want your shutter speed to be 1/60th of a second for the most natural looking motion. You can address this issue by using what's called an ND filter or neutral density filter, which is an extra purchase. I have though gotten away with it in the past, just letting my shutter speed crank, and I've never gotten a complaint from anyone, so this is definitely not something to be overly concerned about. I will touch more on this later in the shoot section of this course. The base model for the Mini 3 Pro at the time of the release of this video is priced around $760, but again I would highly recommend getting it with the DJI RC remote controller with the built-in screen, which is priced around $910. Of course I would also recommend getting extra batteries. The best deal around probably is the Fly More combo. It has the DJI RC remote controller and extra batteries, a carrying case, and other accessories. That's priced at $1150. Okay, so those two drones would be my main two recommendations at this point in time, but I also wanted to mention the Mavic Air 2S, which is an older model, but still a great choice and still sold new. Also, if you can find a used Mavic 2 Pro, I still think that's a good choice, whose image quality will still impress to this day. Okay, now that we talked about drones and accessories, let's get into the recommended camera and function settings of the drone. Alright, so we're looking at the screen inside the DJI Fly app here, which most DJI drones, if not all, use at this point in time. If you have an older model, then of course that might not be the case. But if you have any of the newer models, it will be using the DJI Fly app. Of course, the Mavic 3 may have features that the Mini 3 Pro does not have, so obviously there may be some difference in the menu here, but all these settings are pretty universal. So, alright, so for the first things first, I'm in photo mode, and you can tell that by clicking the photo icon here, and you'll see it's selected, it's in yellow. So the first thing I want to do is select AEB, which is Auto Exposure Bracket, and I would set 5, so that's what I want to have as my settings. That will take 5 brackets, so what that means is there'll be a difference in exposure between each bracket, so that way you have a wide range of detail to work with, and you can blend those together later, which I will show you how to do in the editing section of this video. 5 brackets is almost always overkill for drone shots, but I just like to have as much data as possible to work with, so I shoot 5. You can shoot 3, that's probably plenty. Even 1 single exposure for drone shots in most cases will work, but in some circumstances, like if you want to bring detail out of shadows or highlights, you know, maybe the sky's blown out or whatever, it always helps to have the brackets because you'll have a bunch of different exposures to work with to pull those details from. Okay, so the next thing I want to go down to is in the bottom right corner, you'll see auto. I just put it back in auto because by default your drone is probably in this setting. When you take it out for the first time and turn it on, it's in auto. So I want to click on that little camera icon, and now it turns to Pro. And now we can change the settings manually. There's a left section here and a right section here. I'm going to tap on the left section where it says JPEG. Alright, let's go through the options here and I'll tell you how I set my settings. So white balance is the first thing. It's on auto by default. So if I'm going to leave it on auto, white balance, I leave on auto. Alright, so the next thing here is format, JPEG RAW or JPEG NRAW. We want RAW, so I'm going to set that for RAW. Now aspect ratio, you have a choice of 4 to 3 or 16 by 9. On the weekend, 4 to 3. Previous drones that I've had all had 3 to 2, and that's my preferred aspect ratio. I hate that this doesn't have it because 3 to 2 is what I'm shooting with my regular camera, so my drone shots are in a different aspect ratio than my camera shots, and it's kind of annoying. So if you have 3 to 2, I would select that for sure. But I've never fully
Takeoff. Home point updated.
Hello?
Landing.
Hello?
Yeah.
Are you busy?
As long as it's daytime, you have no problem staying in the ISO, and that's the cleanest ISO.
Well, I've been trying to reach you all evening.
That's the only thing here I want to know. I'm gonna let the camera
Were you asleep or something?
shoot in, which have no problems in daylight. Too slow or
Yeah.
anything like that. That's when it becomes a problem. Is that twilight or nighttime?
Hello?
Yeah.
What's the matter?
I'm freaking tired, man.
Oh, you took a nap? Oh, you're busy working.
Why am I going to take a nap?
You're working. Okay, I get it. I'm sorry. You were working, right?
I have no choice.
I thought Special K was coming up to help you.
Yeah, well, she came up and did what she did. She got school tomorrow.
Oh.